the Good evening and welcome to Jack Edwards Reserve for this round 15 NPL Victoria men's fixture. It is the Oakleigh Cannons, the reigning NPL Victoria champions, looking to get back on the winners list against the red-hot Green Gully, who have an opportunity to... These teams have been playing as of late, particularly Green Gully. The goals have been flowing. We'll go through the starting lineups for both teams. The Oakleigh Cannons have made two changes from their league fixture on the weekend against Avondale. They did lose 3-0 in that contest. Brody Boyce is out of the squad, a player who's been a constant in this team all season. Pierce Waring as well drops to the bench, but there's a big return. Alex Salmon back up front, leading the line, back from suspension, and Matthew Dench as well comes into the lineup. Green Gully, there's been a bit of chopping and changing at the last minute, but they have made only the one change. Adisu Bayu comes in for Carly Manzi. There's an opportunity on the bench for Jake Uritza, who comes in as a late change. No Casper Hallam, no Paul Hodges, who are out of the squad tonight for Green Gully. But taking you through the remainder of the starting lineup for Oakleigh: Nick Feely, Connor Hampson, Jordan Hall, Jacob Tratt, Cameron McGilt, Alex Salmon, Joe Guest, Kingsley Sinclair, Campbell Strong, Matthew Dench, and Asar Kasumovic. For Green Gully, Liam Driscoll in goals, with Morris Nugent, who takes on the captain's armband tonight, alongside Jalil Regag, Matthew Crooks, Scott Lockhead, Adisu Bayu, Josh Hope, Declan Wynn, Amir Abdallah, and of course Gianluca Iannucci and Judd McDougall. So we're just about ready to go here for this massive contest. Oakleigh, with a win, can keep themselves right in the mix for top two football, but Green Gully could find themselves as high as 5th at the end of this round if they win tonight, of course. Contingent on other results with Preston Lions and Hume City, who they'll be watching on eagerly to see how they go. But Jimmy, this is set to be a big game for both these two teams.
Yeah, definitely set to be a big game. Oakleigh definitely looking to turn it around.
Salmon goes for the early opportunity, and it's just past the post. Sorry, Jimmy.
No, Oakley's definitely going to look to turn their home form around this season, only collecting, I think it was 9 out of their 28 points at home this season. So definitely something that Oakleigh's going to look at improving throughout this game and this season.
So, Jimmy, I mean, when you look back at what we can expect tonight, looking at Green Gully, what they've done so well, particularly last week against Dandenong Thunder, they were down a goal and they came home with a wet sail. What did you notice about Green Gully that really impressed you last Friday night?
I absolutely loved how the fullbacks just flew up the pitch, especially Declan Wynn, how they just really flew up the pitch and were able to play really direct to their forwards and play off that centre forward really well, and scored 2 really late goals from that.
Well, both fullbacks did get on the score sheet. You mentioned there, Jimmy, 2 players to certainly look out for in Declan Wynn and Matthew Crooks. Just sort of getting a bit of a gauge as to Matthew Crooks' position. Looks like he's lining up in central midfield tonight. So Morris Nugent playing at right back tonight, and Declan Wynn, as you mentioned, Jimmy, someone to certainly keep an eye on. Player with enormous calibre, as here's Joe Guest, who's been the form man this season, looking to find Kasumovic, but there is the aforementioned Wynn, who plays it through. And it's out of bounds for a throw-in. Kingsley Sinclair, who's been Mr. Versatile for Oakleigh, deputising at right back tonight with no Brody Boyce, who has been a mainstay in this team ever since he joined the Cannons in 2023. Sinclair with the 1-2 with Kasumovic. It's well defended, and Gully can slowly work their way forward. Conversely for Oakleigh, Jimmy, what did you notice against Avondale? Did you see any green shoots for them that they could potentially work through despite that loss? Come back to in just a sec as Nugent looks to get forward down this right-hand side and gives away possession. He's strong, looking for the run of Alex Salmon. That's a beautiful touch there from Salmon. But getting back is Jalil Regag, who got in just ahead of the former Green Gully striker. Iannucci goes to ground. Referee Jack Morgan lets things run just a little bit. Again, another heavy challenge, and free kick is finally given to Oakleigh there. But just going back to that point, what could Oakleigh really build off from last week against Avondale?
Look, Oakleigh started off the game really well, I thought. I thought the goal that they conceded was definitely against the play, with the other 2 goals conceded mainly due to pushing a lot of men forwards and leaving the defence a little bit open. So I think if Oakleigh are able to keep composed, they can definitely get a good result here.
Well, that inclusion of Alex Salmon tonight is something certainly to watch. The combination he has with this man here, Joe Guest, is an absolute delight as he looks for Tradd at the back post, and Liam Driscoll off his line comes out to collect and gets things moving quickly for the run of Adisu Bayou. Calls for a handball. Go unanswered. Matthew Dench getting back and looking to clear things out of defence. And not on the same wavelength there as Hampson, and Gully can settle. Here's Lockhead. Josh Hope making the run at the back post, and it's not a bad ball, but perhaps just a little bit too much on that one for the former Melbourne Victory midfielder, and it's out for a goal kick. Bit of a chaotic start here, Jimmy.
Yeah, both teams are looking to go a bit more direct today, and no one's really got their foot on the ball and look to kind of make those combination plays. So hopefully we can see Joe Guest coming in and getting involved within the build-up and getting in the midfield phase and progressing play.
Well, he's been really doing it all this season. 11 goals in the league, 13 in all competitions. He's just been on fire and looking a real sure bet for someone to be right up there for the gold medal at the end of the season as Alex Salmon didn't get the free kick. He thought Jug McDougall was all over him as Dench's ball in looking for Guest, and it's come out to the back post and Wynn can clear it away. It's been an amazing turnaround for Green Gully this year. They started the season really on the back foot, but since then they have turned things around over the last few weeks. They've won 3 of their last 4 games in the league. When you look at some of those scalps beating the likes of Avondale and Dandy Thunder at home, they've been very good at home, but the question is, can they do it on the road here? But as you mentioned, Jimmy, Jack Edwards Reserve has perhaps not been as much of a fortress for Oakleigh as it has in years gone by. They've lost 3 games here at home this season. McGilp, strong challenge. Guest. Out wide here to Hampson with a first-time ball towards Dench. Haven't seen too much of Dench and Hampson in the same 11 this year. Dench has started the season as their nominal choice at left-back, but Hampson, of course, was the preferred choice in years gone by before Dench's arrival. Guest. Kasumovic, first-time ball into the area. It's not a bad ball, but the flag is up, and I think that might have been for a foul.
Oakleigh can look very dangerous when Joe Guest comes into those wide half spaces and creates those kind of 2v3s against the opposition fullback and centre half. But hopefully Oakleigh can really use that to progress that ball into the box and get a ball into Salmon.
What does a player like Guest do for a defence like Green Gully when he's a player that just, you know, you almost, when there's so much talent up there, you can drag defenders all around. How do you manage a player like that if you're Green Gully? Someone who's got that so much ability, create something from nothing.
It takes a lot of leadership from the defensive unit, a lot of communication, especially with the number 6 who's playing in front of them. Whether number 6 marks or the defensive unit relies on their shape and the way they shift to be able to nullify that kind of effect of that extra man running in. Right, that's something that the Green Gully coaching staff will have definitely spoken about and practiced a lot during the training this week.
Well, you'd get the sense that they would have been watching a lot of tape, and he's a player that's been down here for quite some time. I guess you know what you're going to get when Joe Guest is on the field. He's such an amazing footballer, and we've been so blessed to see him down here in NPL Victoria now since 2019 as Matthew Crooks just getting back to his feet after that challenge. Good to see on that opposite side, Jimmy. I mean, it's coming along quicker and quicker, but that grandstand that's just looming ominously in the background, still under construction, but once it's done, it's going to be an absolute peach here at Jack Edwards Reserve as Amir Abdullah with a lovely ball over the top. Finds the run here of Lockhead in some space on that far side and plays along the deck, but Nick Feely making the stop. But it'll be fantastic once we have both grandstands open here at Jack Edwards Reserve.
I'm so excited for that grandstand. It looks absolutely awesome, especially standing doing commentary on that side. Sounds really exciting.
Well, perhaps with the bit of extra elevation as well, and hopefully be done before season's end. As Nick Feely goes for goal! and almost scoring from the resultant kick. It just bounced over Liam Driscoll's head, and no one was expecting that one. I don't even think Feely was expecting that one, let alone Driscoll. What an attempt.
Oh, it's an amazing tool to have in your arsenal. Having a long kick like that can cause a lot of problems, especially when you have a big lad up top.
Well, the thing was, Salmon didn't even need to get a touch on that one. It just took a huge bounce, and maybe something just to keep a bit of an eye on today. Maybe they've spotted something with Feely perhaps going with the long roost, just going the, sorry to use some AFL parlance, but just kick it up the guts and go almost the torpedo.
There's many routes to goal, right?
Yeah.
Oakleigh are going to use one of them today.
Ball left over the top there, and here's a chance for Yanucci. Dulla gets it out from underneath him and plays it short here to Hope. This cross takes a wicked deflection. Abdullah back towards Josh Hope, goes to ground inside the box, calls for a penalty. Here's Bayou. Back into the area. Yanucci couldn't get his head onto it. Here's Wynn. Crooks, heavy touch. Yanucci just does well to pick up possession. Lockhead forced to recycle. Anything in that call there, Jimmy, or do you think the right decision to let it run?
I think the right decision there was to let it run.
Flick there from Yanucci doesn't come off, and it's turned over. Guess with a lovely ball over the top, but Kasumovic couldn't get him behind, and it's out for a throw-in. And again, it looks like, I think that's Crooks again who's gone to ground. And well, this is the second time inside the opening 10 minutes he's hit the turf. So perhaps David Chick might be forced into an early change. His options on the bench today: Thomas Favero, the backup goalkeeper, Zach Puhaljevic, Carly Manzi, Elion Kifle, who came on and scored last week, and Braden Portelli and Jake Uritza as well on the bench today for Gully. And this is disappointing. Matthew Crooks had a lot of injury problems over the years. Starting to string together some consistent football. As you mentioned, Jimmy, in the start of the game, got on the score sheet last week to give Dandy Thunder the lead. And the last thing they need is an early injury to one of their main men.
Oh, got on the score sheet and was probably best on ground as well. I thought it was absolutely magnificent for the entire game.
Well, we're seeing him in a bit of a different role tonight with a bit of a reshuffle, and I think the thumbs up has come from the physio that maybe he might be okay. He's going to walk things off. Just looking over on the Green Gully bench, they are preparing a potential substitution. But we'll wait and see whether they decide to go ahead with it, or if Matthew Crooks does continue, whether they play on with 10 for the time being. So we'll keep an eye on that one as the game progresses. But for now, Gully down a man. Lockhead with a first-time ball over the top, and Jordan Hall with all the experience, happy to play it back to Nick Feely. And here's Tratt. All that experience in the heart of the fence for Oakleigh with Tratt and Hall since they arrived mid-season last year. They've been so steady defensively, but perhaps the last couple of games, just some signs, conceding 6 goals in their last 2 games in all competitions, that perhaps there is a way to get through this fortress of a defence that is Oakleigh's, as Bayou plays it through, and here is Amir Abdullah breaking forward here on this near side. He just couldn't get out from underneath him, but winning the ball back and calling for some support here, and well defended there from both Connor Hampson and Campbell Strong, and he's able to win the throw-in. And just something to keep an eye on with Abdullah, Jimmy. His left foot is an absolute wand, and he's a player who likes to get in on his left. And I think the messaging probably would have been from Chris Taylor and his coaching staff to perhaps just don't even give him an inch. Just every time he's in that sort of area, just to shut it down. Don't even give him a chance to let fire on that left foot of his.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting, though, because Green Gully mostly used that left wing rather than the right-hand side during their attacking phase.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's the threat of Declan Wynn at that fullback, and the way he combines with Josh Hope.
Well, you have to wonder as well if maybe it frees things up for Abdullah to find some more space if the defence drags, and allows him to get in those one-on-ones and be something to keep an eye on as this game progresses. Amir Abdullah, who, of course, was the NPL Victoria gold medalist last season. Such an incredible player. And took a bit of time to get going here at Green Gully, but 5 goals in his last 3 games. A hat-trick against Avondale and 2 goals against Preston the week before. Nugent looking to feed through Yanucci. Does well to chase it down here, Gianluca Yanucci. Crosses it into the area. It's not a bad ball. And Adisu Bayu was waiting for it. And he just had to make clean purchase on that. And that would have been 1-0 Green Gully.
Found himself run between the 2 centre-halves. Both centre-halves left not knowing how to deal with him. Just had to put that ball in the back of the net.
Well, it is as simple as that. He just had to make clean purchase. And I don't even think he could believe it that he wasn't able to turn it home. And a player like Adisu Bayu, who we've seen him at the highest level in the A-League with Western United, is a player with a lot of ability, but ever since coming back to the NPL with Green Gully, just hasn't been able to string together a lot of consistent football, a lot of injuries, but we know he's got it in him, that he's a player that can score goals, and it's a delightful ball into the area, and perhaps you must wonder, did he know much about it before it really came to him? It might have even come to him with a little bit of surprise. Asar Kasumovic now in a position to make something happen. Guest, we're going to cut it on his left. Guest fires, it's blocked. McGilp, back out to Connor Hampson. Puts it into the area, but straight into the waiting arms there of Driscoll. Seems like Gully have really settled into the game. And again, Matthew Crooks, who re-entered, he's gone down for a 3rd time. So I think we will get that substitution now. Just over 14 and a half minutes played. See assistant coach Craig Filer slowly making his way over to the 4th official. And it looks like it's going to be Carly Manzi who will be coming on here for Matthew Crooks. A nominal central midfielder, Carly Manzi. Disappointing that we won't get to see Matthew Crooks see out the contest. So just waiting here for him to slowly exit the field. Carly Manzi, who started a couple of weeks ago against Preston. He's made 14 appearances this year, 8 starts. Did start last week as well in the win against Andy Thunder, but was out of the starting lineup, but basically straight back in, considering he's going to get himself around 75-plus minutes in the legs, should he get through the whole game as well, of course. And Scott Lockhead sort of sitting as the deeper midfielders, a very attacking sort of setup from Green Gully with more attacking players that sort of sit ahead of Amanzi. Regaig out towards Wynn. The call to press coming from the defence, and Asar Kasumovic wins it back. Feeding it through to McGilp. Just caught up in a bit of a cul-de-sac there, and he does well to win the corner. Something to maybe build off there for Oakleigh, looking to press high when Gully trying to play out from the back, Jimmy?
Yeah, Gully are looking to build up in that back 3. So Oakley's countered that by having like a front 4 to have that outnumber within that first phase of play out of the back. Green Gully really either has to look to spread those wide centre-halves really far wide, or to look to play that ball into the midfield phase early.
Good ball into the area, and it's nodded away. Abdullah helps it on its way. McGilp on the volley, and it's rockets into the back of Scott Lockhead. Dench. Abdullah wins the header. And he clears it away up towards Adisu Bayu. And well played there by Sinclair to put it out into touch. I think the tough thing is for Gully, though, is if they do play a more direct style, Jimmy, as we'll come back to that, because Abdullah is in some space here and look for hope, and it's turned over to Sinclair, but they don't have the sort of taller presence up front as a bailout option that maybe Alex Salmon would be back the other way, going up against the gargantuan pairing as Driscoll goes to ground, and Alex Salmon giving away the free kick. He's just come back from a 2-game suspension. Of course, played in the Cup during the week, but the last thing they need is him to get himself in the book early. But when you don't have that sort of physical option, a bailout option, when you're being pressed up the field, how does that affect, I guess, when you're trying to play it long and you know that you're not going to have that physical presence to go toe-to-toe with a player like Tratton Hall?
It's more for Green Gully. It's more about looking where the outnumbers are, where we can create that. So Green Gully can create those outnumbers around the football. Especially when you're looking to play out in the 3, you need to look to make those outnumbers in the central part of the park. Especially when playing against a 4-2-4 press.
So what you're saying is they have to get more numbers in the middle in those moments, and basically it's calling on maybe the attackers to drop in a little bit deeper.
Yes.
McGill back to Tratt. Strong let it run. Kasumovic. Salmon looking to flick it on towards Guest. McDougall just let it run for just a moment, and Driscoll clears it away. I'll tell you one thing I'm picking up on here, Jimmy, is it's a very frantic start, really going end-to-end quickly. It's almost counters on counters at the moment. Free kick going the way there of Green Gully. That's something you're noticing as well. It feels like game's been played heavily in transition at the moment for both teams.
Yeah, it's almost like a little basketball game, the way it's going end-to-end at the moment. But we haven't really seen any shots, despite it going end-to-end and entering the box quite a little bit. So hopefully we can see some of the attacking quality in either team just getting a nice big shot off. Well,
I'll tell you what, Jimmy, I mean, if you said to us before the game, perhaps the best chance or the closest that Oakleigh came to scoring was from a long kick from the goalkeeper 20 minutes into the game. Well, I told you, a little bit crazy, but of course Green Gully had that Adisu Bayou chance back the other way, and other than that, as you mentioned, there haven't really been too many big opportunities testing either Feely or Driscoll in the early going. Winning the header. Kasumovic looking to play it over the top. Alex Salmon's timed his run well. Lets it run back on the deck. Kasumovic! And Oakleigh take the lead. It was well worked from Alex Salmon. Just let it run. Kasumovic making that run back through the middle. And a beautiful finish there from the former Adelaide United man. He's second of the season. And Oakleigh take the lead here at Jack Edwards Reserve.
Salmon was able to let that ball run and draw that defender out wide, creating that huge gap into the middle for that third man run to storm into and get an easy finish on goal.
Well, you just saw he checked, he waited. It was almost like that Alex Salmon was playing in slow motion, Jimmy, and was just waiting for Kasumovic to make that run centrally. It was a lovely ball back into the middle. And Kasumovic able just to tap home there. Did well to get enough on it, keep his balance, and open the scoring here for Oakleigh. Exactly the sort of response they would have wanted after the last 2 games. In all competitions, they have suffered defeat. So a good start here for Chris Taylor's side.
Last game in the league being especially disappointing, being their first game that they didn't score in.
That's incredible to think. As the ball over the top, Bayou looking to get past Feely. Feely off his line here, and the shot on goal from Hope. A great clearance there from Hall. Hope looking to chase it down. Goes for goal again, and it's saved by Feely. Looking to cut it back. Here's Wynn. Yanucci flicks it over the top, looking for Hope. Calls for the offside, and Hall clears it away. And almost an instant response there from Green Gully. Take your breath. This is high-octane stuff here. But as you mentioned, Jimmy, it is quite an incredible stat that last week was the first time that Oakleigh hadn't scored a goal all season. Just goes to show the attacking calibre that they do have. And considering the last league game they played before that against South Melbourne, they won that game 2-1, but were playing majority of that game with 10. Of course, there was 2 penalties, but regardless, were able to manufacture those opportunities where they were from the spot, or not able to get the ball forward and do what they did. But for Avondale to really shut them out with some of the defensive injuries they have was quite remarkable. So a good response, though, nonetheless, from Green Gully. Bit of a nervous moment there for Nick Feely, Jimmy, speaking from your experience as a goalkeeper. You know, what goes through your head in those moments? Do you think he made the right call there?
Look, yeah, he looks to play very aggressively. Might have made the wrong decision there in rushing out. I didn't really get a good view on whether he made the right decision or whether he was too late to rush out or not. But something that we'll definitely be thinking about for future times.
All the experience of Nick Feely in those moments, and it almost went so wrong, but luckily able to get bailed out by that desperate challenge from Jordan Hall. Was able to get in and deny Josh Hope an equaliser. What a game so far. You get a sense there's going to be plenty more action, plenty more goals in this one, so keep an eye on this one back at home if you're watching on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. There's plenty of games happening And make sure you're nice and tucked in. You got yourself a cup of tea and you're settling in for a big night of football. As Connor Hampson looking to play it through. Lockhead did well to intercept ball from Joe Guest. He goes to ground. That's going to be a free kick. Very physical start to this game as well. But referee Jack Morgan letting a little bit run in the early going as well.
It's what the fans want to see, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Like you want the game to flow, and you want to see both teams playing hard, attacking the ball hard.
No love lost out there at the moment in the early going. Two teams played back in round 2, a 1-1 draw at Green Gully Reserve. The man who did score for Oakleigh on that occasion, Joe Knowles, unfortunately out for the rest of the season. Scored a brilliant goal that game, and he's such a talent. So really disappointing that we won't see Joe Knowles out in action. Player who is, when he's up and about, one of the best this competition has to offer, as Yanucci gets in behind, and well played there from Sinclair getting back, but Gully win the corner. And then last season when they played Jimmy at Green Gully Reserve in the final meeting in last year, Gully actually won the game 4-2. Just a real shock at the time. I mean, considering where Gully finished now, Oakleigh finished the season. But Gully did lose the corresponding fixture at this venue last year. In fact, they haven't won here in 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So since round 1 2022 was their last win here at Jack Edwards Reserve against Oakleigh. Ball whipped into the area, and a sea of bodies inside the 6-yard box. Seems like a few players got their head onto that one, but Nick Feely is able to gobble that one up easily. Bit of a fun fact for this one, Jimmy. Josh Hope and Gianluca Yanucci actually debuted in that round 1 2022 game, and both scored in that game as well. So perhaps a good omen if they're able to hit the score sheet today. Hope did score last year against Oakleigh at this venue, but they didn't win. But maybe if both of them get on the score sheet, perhaps a little bit of magic coming the way of Green Gully tonight as they look to build forward down this left-hand side. Here's Wynn. What is it in particular about Declan Wynn that you like, Jimmy? I mean, he's a player with a great resume. 16 caps for New Zealand, a player who's played all over the world, but sort of gone under the radar a little bit this year. But we'll come back to it in just a sec as Dench able to play through, but Guest able to play it through, and Lockhead winning it back, and clatter of the feet there with Alex Salmon and a free kick to Green Gully. But what is it, going back to that Declan Wynn point, what is it in particular that you like about his game that really makes him one of the premier fullbacks in this competition?
Absolutely love the way he can combine and work with his winger, and then also have the same speed and engine to be able to get back and help out in that defensive phase as well. Really makes him one of the, as you said, one of the best fullbacks in the league. Well,
there's a reason he was starting for the All Whites at the 2017 Confederations Cup, Jimmy. You know, playing with the likes of Winston Reid, a player very close to your heart, I know.
Absolutely love Winston Reid.
We know you love Winston Reid. Proud Hammers fan to our left here. Alex Salmon, strong challenge from Lockhead, did well to choreograph his challenge. Yanucci winning it back. We're going to play it over the top, looking for Bayou. And that ball bounces through there to Nick Feely. Spent a lot of his career, Declan Wynn, playing in the USL, the second division in the US. Hampson up the line. Flicked on there from Dench. Salmon not able to bring it under control, and out of bounds there for a throw-in. Right in front of the Green Gully coaching staff there. David Chick, of course, his first season as head coach of Green Gully, coming across from Hume in the off-season. Looking to jump Hume with a win tonight and put themselves inside the top 6. It'll be a great turnaround from where they were back at the start of March when they suffered that heavy loss at home against Dandy City. Things have turned enormously since then. Credit to David Chick and the entire Gully coaching staff of getting things back on track after a difficult start to the year. Hampson under pressure there, Abdullah. Hampson able to clear it away, and a very high press here from Green Gully. Extremely high line, especially pushing Maurice Nugent all the way up. Something I noticed from watching back that game against Dandy Thunder, I don't know if you saw the same thing, Jimmy, but where they scored a lot of their goals, they were able to get it from that high press and causing turnovers high up the field. And you could see it early in this game as well. It's sort of been a point of focus that when Oakleigh do get in possession in those moments, to not allow them to sort of linger on the ball.
Yeah, they're definitely pressing really aggressively, forcing the ball into those kind of like wide fullback areas, almost cornering those fullbacks, force him to kind of make a decision. Do they go long? Do they try beat the press?
How hard is that to play against when you're facing, when you're a player, you're coaching against that, when you have to essentially send it long, or you're playing against those defences where there's press, where it's a 4v3. What goes through your mind there is whether you're a coach or a player in those moments?
I usually try to think, can the movements of my midfield and the rest of the team surrounding the ball force some space around the ball? So does a midfielder move away, make a swap with the winger to try to open up a gap, or does a striker come short to create that number? So you always try to think, where's the space? Where can I create that number?
Well, it's something I think that you'd imagine would be the talk of that Oakleigh technical staff, to try and get some of those players coming in a little bit deep and off that little bit of support. But
yeah, and obviously when someone does come deep, someone does have to go up as well. You don't want too many bodies around the ball. That makes it way too congested, like an under-8s game.
Well, that's junior football 101, the amount of times that you've been in those sessions and the coach would stop the game, like spread out, too many people around the ball as guest. Floats it into the back post, looking for Hampson. But it is fascinating. It's a very fascinating chess match between these two teams. Two teams, I think, kind of similar philosophies. A bit different structures, but similar philosophies in the way that they press.
Yeah, both teams want to be really aggressive on that press. Both teams actually like to be quite direct with the ball as well. Try to get the ball forward as quickly as possible. So, yeah, two very similar teams.
Salmon looking to find Hampson, and it took a deflection. He's happy to let it run and out for a corner. So we're just about half an hour through here at Jack Edwards Reserve. Oakleigh in the lead, courtesy of a goal from Asar Kasumovic, in case you're just tuning in now. A win today for the Oakleigh Cannons. We'll take them into third for the time being, but of course they'll be keeping an eye on the rest of the action this weekend. Dandy Thunder, Avondale and Heidelberg just ahead of them on the ladder. Ball whipped into the area. Ball not entirely clear. Kasumovic with a speculative first-time effort, and that's well over the bar for a goal kick. Of course, this is one of 4 matches on tonight. We'll do a quick whip around the grounds. There's a big game happening. I mean, to say it's a relegation 6-pointer is almost incredible, but South Melbourne and Melbourne Knights currently, South Melbourne leading 2-0 and on track for their first win in the league in 3 months.
Oh, wow.
So they'll get themselves out of the relegation zone. Melbourne Knights, though, will be rooted to the bottom of the standings. Avondale as well leading against Port Melbourne 1-0. Manny Agwek scoring there. And Preston Dandy City just kicking off 0-0 at BT Connor Reserve. So on that live ladder, Oakleigh will go into third for now. But Dandy Thunder playing Hume tomorrow at George Andrews Reserve. And if Dandy Thunder do win that game, they'll, of course, leapfrog Oakleigh back on the standings. What a strong challenge there from McGilp. And here's Salmon feeding it through. The run from Kasumovic. And that's a massive goal line clearance. We're just waiting for the net to bulge, but it's not cleared yet. McGilp trying to play it through. Oh, and almost a costly error there from the Green Gully defence, but it was all started from that brilliant challenge from Cam McGilp, but great defending to make up from it there from the Green Gully defence, getting numbers back and clearing that one off the goal line.
Yeah, Green Gully were doing, as we mentioned, really, they tried being that first line of the press early by getting a ball into the midfield, but when you let the ball roll in midfield, especially in those areas, like you put yourself at risk.
Well, Cam McGilp, what a challenge that was as well, Jimmy. I mean, timing it perfectly. That's number 6 play 101, isn't it?
Those challenges can go wrong if missed
times. And he's missed a lot of football this year through injury. You can see his left knee still strapped. Such an important player in the heartbeat of this Oakleigh team. Going to play it out wide towards Kasumovic, who has one to his name and could have almost had a second had it not been for that desperate clearance. I'm not too sure whether it was Regaig or McDougall getting back, but regardless, the main thing is it's not too to the good for Oakleigh if you're looking at it from a Green Gully persuasion, as Trapp looking for Dench. Feeds it through for Guest. Plays it into the box, and it's Kasumovic who got on the end of that. And again, just so much space there for Kasumovic to come and chase that one down. The Green Gully players just ball watching there, and maybe another let off there for that Green Gully defence, which has been opened up a few times in those cutbacks.
Yeah, I think Green Gully's going to try to take their time on this goal kick a little bit, try reshape, try restructure, find that composure again, because Oakleigh in that last 2-3 minutes have been able to find two great chances at goal.
Well, just there, you just saw it, like Kasumovic able to, even with slowly, almost in slow motion, just meander his way out and able to make clean purchase, but, well, not clean purchase, be able to get the opportunity to have a shot on goal, but not cleaned up by that Green Gully defence that perhaps might have just been sitting off a little bit too much there.
Ball went long from the goalkeeper just to kind of try compose that back for a little bit, get it out of harm's way so they can push up the pitch, reset, and hope for a more composed defensive performance.
McDougall. Here's Hope. Came so close to equalising almost seconds after that Kasumovic goal did Josh Hope. Play with enormous ability. He's in his 4th season now at Green Gully. Best known for his time at Melbourne Victory. Part of that 2018 championship winning squad. He was a much younger player back then, just coming through the ranks of the Melbourne Victory youth team, but a player that perhaps was stuck behind so much talent in that midfield group when you're looking at some of those names, like at one point, Keisuke Honda and Terry Antonis, James Troisi. Names just rattle off. But a great internship nonetheless to learn from those sort of players. As Salmon looking to feed it through. Able to roll through for a goal kick. But he really is a player with a lot of ability. But actually, it looks like that's going to be a corner. But just going back to that Josh Hope point, he is a player who we've seen it in bits here at NPL. He's got so much natural ability.
And there are times, like especially here, where he's almost been given a free roll and been told he can go inside, he can go a little bit forward and get in behind, or come a little bit short, just depending on how the game state is, because he is such an intelligent player. Reads the space magnificently well.
McGilp. The pressure there, and with a nice back heel to Dench, plays it along the deck, and it's cleared away. There he is, Hope sort of playing as most of the time it's not a bit like as you mentioned, at the second striker role. He has sort of fit in alongside Bayu in that sort of number 10 / old-fashioned second striker sort of play. Gully able to win the territory there and able to advance the play up the field as we are into the final 10 minutes plus stoppages in this first half. Patient here in their build-up here are the visitors. Nugent. Here is Hope. Abdallah. Imanzi. Nugent. Dench. Winning it back. Leaves it for Guest. Now Hall. Sinclair now is slotting it right back today, played as a left winger, a left back, a central midfielder at times. He's the Mr. Fix-It in this Oakleigh team. Wherever there's an absentee, he slots in and does a job. Of course, no Brody Boyce tonight, a big out for Oakleigh. He's been a constant of this team. Very rarely misses a game, let alone a minute, as Sinclair playing it back to Tratt. In advanced possession here is Jacob Tratt. Hampson. Short to Strong. Lovely bit of interplay. Goes to ground. And looks like it's going to come on the second foul there. Nugent giving that one away there on Matthew Dench. Nice little turnout here tonight at Jack Edwards Reserve. It's good that the rain has held off. It was pretty stop and start day with the rain throughout Melbourne. It's actually not too cold as well either. You know, doesn't have that winter chill that we're used to at this time of the year here in Melbourne.
We're lucky that there's no wind here. The wind can go right through you if you're in the stands here at Jack Edwards.
Absolutely. Joe Guest standing over this free kick. Floats it into the area. Not a bad ball at all. And it's come out to Kasumovic. Lockhead made the challenge, but it's going to be a free kick going to Green Gully. McDougall sending it long. Dench as well to beat Abdullah to that one. Guest. Nugent just happy to let that one run out there for a throw-in. Green Gully have been so good at home over their last little patch. They've won their last 4 home games, but they've had a few wins on the road this year, but still looking for that real statement win away from home against one of the top contenders. They pushed Preston, they pushed Dandy Thunder, but just unable to get that big win on the road just yet. And if they're able to turn this one around and win, it would really solidify themselves as a team that really could make a push for some silverware in the second half of the year. Of course, a win for them, as we spoke about earlier, will take them into 5th for the time being. Sort of in a logjam with the likes of Preston and Hume and Dandy City in that race for the final 2 spots inside the 6. Bayou out towards Abdullah. Isolated here with Tratt. Hampson comes to support Abdullah, looking to cut it on his left. It takes a wicked deflection there off Hampson. Nugent. Lockhead. It's hoping support, but it's cleared away first time there from Sinclair. And there it is, Jimmy, as we spoke about. Amir Abdullah looking to get in on that left, but Oakleigh not giving him an inch whatsoever. Ball over the top there, looking for Bayou, but that will bounce through to Nick Feely. Easy does it here for the Oakleigh Cannons as we close in on the break. Ball getting there from Feely, and we've seen those already cause some problems. Didn't have the same length or distance on that one. So easy pickings in the end there for Liam Driscoll.
There isn't much of a breeze either, so
no.
The fact he gets that ball that far, absolutely amazing technique and effort.
Is it more technique or is it leg power? Is it a bit of both?
It has to be a little bit of both.
Yeah. Well, last year we saw one goalkeeper score, but it was from your classic throw the keeper up in the last minute, hope for an equaliser, in Pierce Clark doing it for Dandy Thunder. But if Nick Feely was able to pull that one off, I think that he'd almost have to get goal of the season just straight out, wouldn't it? Even though it is perhaps, not as spectacular as some of the other acrobatic efforts we've seen, as the ball into the area. Tratt not cleared. Bayou.
I'm going to have to research. Are you allowed to kick a goal from your hands, like do a footy kick style into the goal?
That's actually a good question. We might have to fact check that one in the halftime break.
So no, you can't score from a goal kick.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because it is, I guess, in live play. But you are right; it does come from. We haven't really seen it before. I don't know if we've actually ever seen it.
No, I've seen goalkeepers score with the feet rather than
well, I guess if
footy kick style.
If he rolls it out and kicks it just from a normal play, it's a goal. But yeah, not quite sure about what would happen if it was basically going with the footy kick style or whatnot. Nonetheless, luckily we don't need to worry. The referees as well don't need to, have to potentially break the bad news in case it didn't count. But we'll definitely fact check that one at half-time. McGilp. Dench in towards Guest. He lets it run. Ooh, strong challenge there between Wynn and Kasumovic. And Wynn did come up with possession. Imanzi. Back to Regag. Here's Yanucci. Good defensive structures here from Oakleigh, not allowing Gully to play with any sort of speed and create those outnumbers. And there you can see it right in front of us, Jimmy. That back three starting to really come into fruition, and Lockhead and Wynn essentially acting as those two wing backs at the moment. Yanucci as well to get it out from underneath him. He's in a crossing position here, but well defended by Strong, and it's out for a throw-in.
When Oakleigh does get into their two banks of four, they are one of the hardest teams to break down. Green Gully's going to definitely rely on Josh Hope and Lockhead trying to move that defence out of position with their kind of runs and coming short and filling in those little gaps.
Here is Hope. Bit of trickery there on that far side, but couldn't find anyone inside the box. Guest. Sinclair did well there to win the goal kick. So a couple minutes now before the 45 is up. In case you're just tuning in here on the NPL Victoria YouTube page, Asad Kasumovic with the goal that separates the two sides. His second goal of the season for the former Adelaide United winger. His last goal coming all the way back in round one against Avondale, so it's been a long time coming, at least in the league, for a goal for Kasumovic. McGill nods it forward. Well, one there by Lockhead. Nugent. And for Bayou. Good contest there from Bayou to put Tratt under some pressure. Hall. Nugent. He's able to ride Campbell Strong's challenge and finds Yanucci. As well to swivel past Guest, and Yanucci still going here. Going to get onto his right. Yanucci strikes, takes a deflection. It's off the post. But the flag is up. I don't know if it maybe took a slight deflection off Adisu Bayo on the way through, and perhaps he was offside. But a dangerous moment there for the Oakleigh defence.
Amazing to get a shot off. Back was almost a goal when able to swivel around and get that shot off. Takes great skill.
Well, he's a player that he can produce the spectacular Gianluca Yanucci, and player as well who spent time in the academies of both Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory.
Won himself 5 under-20 caps for Australia as well.
Yes, absolutely. Scored in the Asian Champions League as well, if you remember that famous
yes.
in the COVID hub 2020 under Grant Brebner. Well played there from Hampson. Goes to ground and wins the free kick. So we'll get 2 minutes of added time here. So perhaps enough time for either team to, well, particularly for Oakleigh here from this set piece, to manufacture an opportunity. McGill takes it quickly. Driving forward here is Cam McGill. Cuts it centrally. Guest. Salmon looking back for Guest, and it's well defended. Hope out wide for Yanucci. Strong challenge from Kasumovic, and Yanucci just perhaps might have been caught there by Kasumovic on that challenge, but he was able to slow things down just a little bit. Nugent. Lockhead. Does well, the Scotsman. Abdallah in some space on the edge of the area. He fires on his left. Great save there from Felix. Able to parry that one away. And Amir Abdallah with just a reminder of what he's able to do in those areas.
Lockhead's able to drift into almost to a right-back position to collect the ball and start that play, creating that gap in the middle to run into and almost complete the play. Might be the way that Green Gully is able to break down that famous 4-4 block that Oakleigh are able to do.
Strong challenge there, and Guest is able to win the free kick, but you are right. I mean, I think in particular, seeing how Abdallah is able to drift in and get in those positions, he's such a danger from outside the box. Just a warning sign in these last few minutes from the Green Gully attack, just showing Oakleigh we're well and truly still in this game. It's only 1-0. Sets up things beautifully for what should be a very entertaining second half. And there it is. Referee Jack Morgan blows for the end of the first half. And the Oakleigh Cannons will go into the sheds with their noses in front. 1-0, courtesy of a strike from Asad Kasumovic. It's a lovely bit of work from Alex Salmon to cut it back to Kasumovic, who was able to knock it home. Both teams had chances. Oakleigh's best, other than the goal, was almost a strike from Nick Feely, which we still have to fact check at half-time whether it would have counted. But Green Gully hitting the post. It was a perhaps deflected on the way through as well. But both teams having as well efforts cleared off the line as well. And Amir Abdallah forcing a good save from Nick Feely at the end of that first half. But Jimmy... Second half here at Jack Edwards Reserve. The score here is Oakleigh Cannons 1, Green Gully 0. Good to go. Welcome back to Jack Edwards Reserve for the second half of this round 15 NPL Victoria fixture. Score here is the Oakleigh Cannons 1, Green Gully 0 as we get ready here for the second half. All to play for here between two sides firmly in finals contention this year. Oakleigh can go into third with a win. Green Gully, if they can turn this one around and come away with the 3 points, will be fifth at least for the end of the evening, or dependent actually, on some other results as well. But we'll at least be inside the top 6 as we get things almost ready to go here. The Green Gully in their traditional green and white going from right to left, and Oakleigh in their navy blue going from left to right. Nick Tabano and Jimmy Sirianos here to take you through the remainder of this contest. Jimmy, all set for a big final 45 here.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Very exciting first half. Lots of close chances. Almost had a couple of goals there. Even a little dicey moment with the goalkeeper and a goal line clearance to keep the fans all excited at the edge of their seats. So, second half should be very good.
No changes from either team at the half-time break. There's a shot from range from Regaig, and well, why not have a pop? He can certainly hit them, and straight Nick Feely in the end. So Feely slowly getting things moving here from the restart. Sitting it long up the field. Regaig winning the header. Hall. Here's Kasumovic, the goal scorer today. Declan Wynn getting back, and Regaig clearing it away. Yanucci, lovely bit of invention, and Hall puts that one out of bounds and out for a throw-in. Yanucci. Well played there by Tratt. McGilp. Switching ball out towards Dench. Slows things down for the time being. So only the one change in this game so far. Matthew Crooks forced off with injury. Carl Manzi coming on for him in the opening 15 minutes or so of this game as Dench out wide towards Hampson. Plays it through towards Guess along the deck, and he wins himself a corner here for Oakleigh.
Guess was able to find himself in a 1v1 situation there. That's definitely a player that Green Gully does not want to see in a 1v1 situation in the box. Guess would definitely be a bit disappointed about not being able to get a better ball into the middle.
So Guess standing over this one, whips it into the area, and it's nodded away there by was Nugent, and Strong trying with a very speculative effort, putting it wide of the mark. So Gully looking to play out from the back. Regaig. Yanucci. Ball out of bounds and out for a throw-in, so Oakleigh can just slowly bring things back into play. On Oakleigh's bench today, Lockie Hart, the backup goalkeeper, but plenty of firepower in the form of Pierce Waring against his former team, Adam Doradovic. As well, Ajak Dayu for defensive solidity, and two youngsters in Luke Mensink and Roy Gregory. Yanucci. Lockhead, back to Imanzi. Some of the players missing today for both teams. No Joe Knowles, Harry Arneson and Noah Holmes for Oakleigh. Spoke about Joe Knowles' injury earlier. Big out for the Oakleigh Cannons, and Green Gully, without Casper Hallam and Paul Hodges missing today. Actually, send our congratulations to Paul Hodges because, one, it's his birthday tomorrow, but two, his partner gave birth to baby boy Arthur Harrison on Sunday morning. So congratulations to Paul and the Hodges family on welcoming new baby boy to the world.
Oakleigh definitely looking to go long again on this goal kick. Sampson definitely being the target.
Nodded forward there by Hampson, who's getting forward from fullback. It's be fed through, and it's out of bounds for a throw-in. One there by Dench. Hampson. It's past his man. Puts it into the area looking for Kasumovic, and it's not a behind there by Wynn, and it's out for another corner. See the construction worker behind there, Jimmy, playing ball boy today. We fetched some of those balls from the portables there, which of course are being used for that beautiful grandstand that's being built on the opposite side.
The construction workers definitely have a good view of the game tonight.
Absolutely. So a corner here for Oakleigh. On this near side, ball is whipped into a dangerous position. Nodded back towards goal, and it's chested away. Tratt, still going Jacob Tratt. Shoots on his left. Salmon was waiting. And he got a touch to it, but it's out for a goal kick.
Seen a little bit of a change in the way that Green Gully are building up. Both centre halves are sounding a lot wider. Hope looking to make a better passing angle into the midfield, which we're able to see with that ball into Josh Hope.
So you'd think that perhaps that might have been part of the conversation with David Chick at halftime, perhaps as a point of focus for Green Gully when they work their way out of the fence. It's a free kick has been awarded to Oakleigh from the restart. This is in a very dangerous position, giving Joe Guest's left foot an in-swinging position for him.
The Green Gully line is pretty high up, so the goalkeeper needs to have great communication when he's coming out to claim that ball.
We'll see where Guest can put this one. He's probably in shooting range as well, but we'll see how he goes with this one. Ball float into the area, but it's like a foul given away there by the Cannons, so a let off there for the Green Gully defence. McDougall. Here's Regaig. Long ball forward looking for Yanucci. Great first touch, and Sinclair getting back and puts the ball out for a throw-in. Yanucci. Feeding it through. Here's Hope. Gets right to the byline, plays it along the deck, and it's cleared away. One back there by Regaig. And left a boot in there on Cam McGill. No free kick awarded, and it's going to be a throw-in here for Green Gully. McGill might have to require a little bit of treatment after that challenge as well.
Not sure if the camera's been picking it up, but there has been a little bit behind the play with Cameron McGill and a couple of the Green Gully players. So it's something that's spilled over into the play with that big challenge.
So play will continue. McGilp is back up on his feet, which is good news for the Cannons. Imanzi playing it back to Nugent. Little passage here from Green Gully. Can they manufacture an opportunity? Here's Hope. Nugent back towards Hope, and the ball goes out of bounds and out for a throw-in.
Imanzi obviously looking very annoyed not to receive that ball there. Could have really started an attack with that reset play and for that switch. Oakleigh taking their time with this throw as well.
A one there by Abdallah, looking to chased down his own ball, but was out of bounds and out for a goal kick. So just about 10 minutes into this first half, just going around the grounds, South Melbourne have won for the first time in the league in about 3 months. Defeating Melbourne Knights, they're out of the bottom three, a massive result for them. It's been a massive week for the club, really. Of course, celebrating one of their own, Ange Postecoglou. We must pass on as well our congratulations to Ange as well for winning the Europa League yesterday. Great for Aussie coaches to show that, well, you know what, you can get there. I mean, it was back in 2009 when he was coaching at this very level for Whittlesea Zebras. And to think that 16 years later, he's there lifting the Europa League. So, I mean, it sends the message out there, Jimmy, to all aspiring coaches that doesn't matter where you are right now. If you stick at it, you stick at your goals, you can end up definitely conquering the world like Ange has.
And Ange being a manager as well who's really believed in his principles, had a lot of criticism throughout his entire career regarding style of play, but stuck to his principles and able to win competitions, win trophies everywhere he's been.
Well, as he famously said, Jimmy, it might not be in the first year, but he always gets it done in the second season. So congratulations to Ange as we focus back here on the game at hand as Oakleigh win themselves a corner. Joe Guest standing over this one. Ball is whipped into a dangerous spot. Track rose the highest, couldn't bring it down. Here's McGilp on the volley and goes through a sea of legs. And who to come off last? I think it was an Oakleigh player because it's out for a goal kick. But player on deck here for Green Gully just requiring a little bit of treatment.
Pretty tough shot to take as well. Had a little bit of contact from Imanzi as well. So the fact he was able to stay standing and get that shot off shows the level and capabilities of Cameron McGilp.
He's been in the wars, McGilp, tonight, and he's had, I think, a really good showing today, Jimmy. I think he's been very impressive.
Yeah, been really good. Green Gully's midfield and attacking half are a tough team to play against. Got a lot of individual talents in that final third. So Cameron McGilp's had to put in a huge effort to keep that attacking talent at bay.
Well, he has missed a lot of football this year, Cam McGilp, through injury. It's so good to see him back out there and back to his best in the middle of the park for the Oakleigh Cannons. One of the premier midfielders in Victorian football. There's a reason why he was signed by Birmingham City from Melbourne Victory all those years ago. Sinclair up the line, looking for Salmon. Well won by Win in the air. Here's Hope. McGilp goes to ground, and a clearance there from, well, Oakleigh have won the free kick, but perhaps a clearance from Declan Wynn into Josh Hope, that certainly won't tickle.
On a cold night, those really, really hurt. But he's still walking. He still doesn't look like he's winded at all, so hopefully Josh Hope is okay.
He just hunched over a little bit, but it looks like he'll be good to continue. But he's going to have to do some defending here because Oakleigh have another opportunity from this set piece in a very dangerous position. Joe Guest again standing over this one. Guest puts it in towards the back post. Was looking for Hampson or Tratt. It's nodded away. Here is Hampson looking back towards Strong. Well played by Abdullah to win it back, and he plays it through towards Lockhead, who's forced to retreat. Switching ball there from Nugent. Finds his man in Wynn. Wynn driving forward. Plays it short to Yanucci, but good defensive setup. Well disciplined again there from Oakleigh, just flooding back, Jimmy. Amazing. Gully were able to get the ball moving quickly, but as we've spoken about, those two banks of four causing all sorts of problems when Gully looked to break. Well played from Hope, though, and here's Wynn. So here's a chance for Gully to break forward. We're patient in their build-up. Here's Yanucci. Well defended there from both Kasumovic and McGilp, and they're able to see that one out for a goal kick.
during that play there, we saw some great rotations in the midfield especially from Josh Hope and Imanzi, right? Really dragging defenders, creating space, little pockets of space to progress that ball further forwards. Something that we'll hopefully see more of in this half from them. Able to get the ball close to a crossing position, but not quite.
I think it's hard for them as well, because something we spoke about is that they don't really have the tall timber inside the box. So when you're looking to cross and the aerial presence of Hall and Tratt, they don't really have that sort of player with tall timber that's able to sort of compete with them physically. So you have to be quite inventive with their build-up. Perhaps maybe look to play it a little bit more along the deck. Bayou does well to contest, though, against Sinclair. Hall nods it down. Sinclair does well to mop up. A touch there from Guest, and strong challenge there with Imanzi, and the Gully bench is up. They thought it should have been a free kick for the visitors. Slipped there at an unfortunate time from Dench. Perhaps opens the door up a little bit here for Gully. Here's Lockhead. Hope. Plays it out wide for Yanucci. Hope gets to the byline, looking back for Yanucci. The shot away, and it's blocked. Guest goes to ground. And it's a free kick going to to Oakleigh against Green Gully. And the Gully players are up in arms with that one. They felt that perhaps that one was a little bit soft going against the visitors there.
Very interesting. We saw Sinclair almost backpedal, not attacking Yanucci in that 1v1 situation. Must be something that they prepared earlier. Don't go 1v1 with Yanucci. Try to delay him as much as possible. Wait for that second man to come in and help out.
Good ball from Salmon. Here's Hampson on the overlap, looking for Guest in the middle. Well defended by Josh Hope, getting back and out for another corner. But you are right, though. We haven't seen Yanucci really get isolated one-on-one at all tonight. Every time he's gotten on the ball, there's been another player or even a third player coming across and looking to slow him down. Very well disciplined.
And in that situation, it was almost a half chance for him to go 1v1. Kingsley was very, very intelligent with the way he attacked that situation and delayed that moment to get that help.
Guest into the area, and it's dotted behind again for another corner, and it's been a corner onslaught in this second half for Oakleigh. Corners and set pieces, really. I think that's Josh Hope, who's
fixing his shoe, looks like.
Yeah, I think maybe his foot might have come out in that last challenge. So Guest again on corner duties. Ball in towards the near post. It's nodded away by McDougall. Kasumovic back towards goal. Nodded back towards the goal mouth by Tratt, and it's saved there by Driscoll.
Not enough power there to beat the keeper in the end. Driscoll with a very comfortable save.
Hasn't really been tested too much tonight, Liam Driscoll. The goal was very well worked from Green Gully. It's a good ball over the top there, looking for Bayou, but it bounces through to Feely. But the other great chance that Oakleigh had, that play, that one-on-one, which was cleared off the line, Driscoll was beaten there, but we actually haven't seen him be forced into any really big saves just yet. It's actually been, I think, a credit to the Green Gully defence. McGill forced to recycle possession to Hall. It's been a busy couple of weeks for the Oakleigh Cannons. They've played, I think the number is around 5 games in just under 2 weeks. So the final game of what's been a very hectic schedule of cup fixtures and short turnarounds in the league as well. Ball over the top looking for Bayou, but the flag is up again. And it's offside, and again, frustration for Green Gully, but this Oakleigh defence so set in their ways defensively and been able to frustrate this Gully defence.
The Bay's really tried to look to go in behind and have really struggled, especially with the Oakleigh centre halves coming in really close, creating a lot of congestion in the middle when they're trying to get in behind.
Dench looking for Guest at the back post. Good, able to chase that one down. Another opportunity here for Oakleigh. Imanzi got a foot to it. Falls here to Strong. McGill back into the area. Nodded away by Regaig. Bayou does well to hold it up, but couldn't get it to Abdullah in support. McGill. Salmon. Lovely ball over the top. Dench. And go out of bounds. Bit of a tangle there with Nugent on that far side. It's cleared away, but it will be coming back. Oakleigh have done well to lock it in their attacking third here. Hampson gets it out from underneath him, the Englishman. Still going, looking to feed it through towards Salmon, and that's a free kick against the Englishman. It's well worked there from, I think it was Nugent who was able to draw the free kick. So getting close to 65 minutes played, Jimmy. I mean, you have to think that perhaps maybe a substitution might be in the works for Gully. Of course, they've got a lot of injured players tonight, so they're going deep in the depth chart tonight. Maybe just to get a bit of fresh legs on might be something for them to look at to try and expose this Oakleigh defence.
Oh, Green Gully have been able to get on the ball, though. They're playing quite well in this half, I think. They can definitely create something. Maybe some pace and energy up front could be beneficial, but the way they are playing at the moment, they can definitely score something.
Hampson, Dench, Salmon looking back for the run of Dench. He was seemingly upheated, but no free kick given, so Gully are able just to settle things for the time being. Regag going to feed it through. Abdullah. Strong challenge by McGilp. No free kick awarded, and Abdullah's not best pleased, nor are the Gully bench. Kasumovic goes to ground, and that's going to be a free kick to Oakleigh against Scott Lockhead. And Amir Abdullah still protesting the earlier decision. He felt he should have had a free kick. See the Gully bench very animated. The ever pensive and stoic Chris Taylor not moving much at all on that Oakleigh bench. He'll be quite pleased with what he's seeing, but be hoping to add to that 1-0 scoreline, and Oakleigh a step closer towards a victory here as the ball fizzes along the deck and it's cleared away. Here's Regay going on a bit of an adventure from centre back, feeding it through for Yanucci. Great challenge there from Sinclair to win it back. Sinclair into the area. McDougall got a foot to it. It falls there to Guest. Lays it off for Salmon. Back to Guest. Guest fires on his left. Takes a deflection off the crossbar. And Wynn puts it behind for a corner. Danger moment there for that Green Gully defence. But they're able to avoid what was almost a 2-0 advantage there for Oakleigh.
Oakleigh's conceded from a deflection last week, almost scored from a deflection this week. It's amazing how football can turn around like that.
Well, let's see, Jimmy, the heavens have opened here at Jack Edwards Reserve, which would make for maybe a bit of drama in these final 20-odd minutes. Another corner here for Oakleigh, though. Ball whipped in. Hampson got a head to it, but was unable to steer it on target. And it goes out for a goal kick. But that's the danger that the Cannons possess. Someone like Joe Guest, who 11 goals this season, 13 in all competitions. He's got 60 to his name in the NPL, but when your partner in crime up front has 78 for his career in the NPL as well, and that's a combination of almost 140 goals between them. It's quite the duo that this Gully defence have had to go up against. It's now Lockhead looking to push the pace back the other way. Abdullah been a bit quieter in this second half. Lockhead looking to play it through, but great defending again from Cam McGill. Just desperate in every challenge, and well played there from Dench to win it back. There's Guest and Salmon waiting in the middle. His cross takes a deflection, and, well, as it seems like the script has gone in this second half, another corner for Oakleigh.
We're able to complete our fact-finding mission.
Yes.
According to Law 10 of the game, a goalkeeper can score from a fly kick.
Well, there you go. So it would have counted if Nick Feely's shot did end up in the back of the net, or, well, caught a clearance, his kick that almost found its way in the back of the net.
It's amazing how more keepers haven't used this tactic in
absolutely,
especially on those windy nights here.
Tratt and Hampson rose, but free kick going against the Cannons. Gully can breathe a sigh of relief for the time being. Looks like it's Declan Wynn, who's also pulled up a little bit lame. Still on the bench for Green Gully is Zach Puhaljevic, Elio Nkifle, Jake Uritza and Braden Portelli. Kifler did score last week. He came on and scored the sealer against Dandenong Thunder, so maybe someone that the Gully coaching staff look to provide a little bit of extra something in that attacking third. He is there. I can see him warming up on that far side. Something we know about Oakleigh is they don't make too many substitutions when they're in this position, so not expecting too much movement on the Oakleigh bench just yet. McGilp, Hampson, making forward here, and he's in an absolute panic here at the moment, Connor Hampson, and he plays it into the box, but a bit too much mustard on that one, and it's out for a goal kick. Just under 20 minutes of regulation time remaining in this one, and neither side has really had too many chances in this second half. Oakleigh, perhaps the best of those chances falling to Joe Guest. His deflected effort coming off the crossbar. But other than that, Green Gully in particular have just been barely able to break this resilient two banks of four of the Oakleigh Cannons. Calls for a handball against Adisu Bayugo. Unanswered by the referee, and now here's Abdullah. Better passage here from Gully. Hope looking to break forward down this left-hand side, but a sea of navy blue shirts in the middle. Hope plays a ball into the area, but it's, again, cleared away here by Oakleigh. And that feels like, Jimmy, it's been a bit of the story of when Gully have been able to break. There's just Oakleigh players everywhere getting in the way before anyone can really offer any sort of support.
Oakleigh have been defending the central zone really, really well, getting a lot of players in there, almost letting the Green Gully wingers have that ball in that wide space, just knowing when that cross comes in, there's going to be so many players in there.
Well, here's Bayu able to win it back in a dangerous position. Feeds it back to Yanucci, fizzes it into the area, but will come out to win, so another chance here for Gully. Takes it first time. It's a floating ball in, and it's not into the back of the net. It's Josh Hope. Well, really out of nowhere, Green Gully are level. A delightful ball in from Wynn. And Josh Hope able to nod it home. His fourth goal of the season. And it's game on here at Jack Edwards.
Oakleigh did allow that cross. Oakleigh did have more numbers in the box, but Josh Hope was the first one to react to it, rose really well, and got the good header to it.
Well, Gully needed some hope, and Josh Hope answered the call. It's a great ball into the area, and we spoke about it that crosses for them had been difficult. They hadn't been able to really have any joy from those balls into the area, and Josh Hope, rising highest and able to nod that one home. That was a header from, someone who's a target man. Like, that's a target man kind of finish there from Josh Hope, not a number 10. Very, very impressive there from the Tasmanian. And, well, it's game on. 73 minutes played, and suddenly the script has been flipped. As much as it was 1-0, Oakleigh seemed like they were in control. Now have a chance to respond here. Hampson straight into the area, knocked away by McDougall. Strong challenge by Strong. Here's Guest, looking for an instant response. Floats it in! Oh, Joe Guest! That is something special! What a response from the champions!
I had to stop myself from screaming there. I thought I was going to deafen everyone with headphones on.
You run out of superlatives to describe this man. He has done it again. Goal number 12 in the league this season. And what a response from the Englishman. With inch-perfect precision.
I can't believe how much space he was given in that area.
Well, he was able to stop, prop, and just place it perfectly, just dinking it into the top corner.
It's almost as if the defensive unit was too scared to approach him. The man's just got that much aura.
Well, I'll tell you what, This man is on fire at the moment. It's 14 goals now in all competitions, and just when Gully had, a way back into this game, Oakleigh respond immediately. Gully came so close to responding to Oakleigh's goal when they initially took the lead. But this time Oakleigh took a page right out of Gully's book and responded straight away. And in the meantime, there has been a substitution for Green Gully. Yanucci off and Kifley's on. And here go Oakleigh. They want to put this one beyond doubt. McDougall getting across and clearing it away. But what an amazing finish there from Joe Guest. Still wrapping my head around that one. That was fantastic. His 61st goal for the Oakleigh Cannons, second all-time. As Hope getting forward. Still plenty of time for Gully to respond again. He goes to ground. Kifley brings the ball under his spell, but Gully do get the free kick. So
it'd be interesting to see if the ref goes into his pocket here. It was a very late challenge.
Yeah.
Ball was nowhere near it.
I think it was Campbell Strong who made the challenge. So Josh Hope, a bit slow back to his feet, but free kick in a dangerous position. And while we saw Oakleigh respond immediately from kickoff, we saw Gully in the first half, as we just spoke about, being inches away from responding from Oakleigh's initial opener. Can they answer back straight away?
I think this substitution, bringing Kifley on, is very positive. He combined really well with Bayou for that last goal in that previous fixture.
Ball in from Abdallah, comes out there to Imanzi. Here's Hope. Return provider here. Plays it into the area, but it wasn't going to trouble any of the Oakleigh defenders. Nick Feely off his line and able to collect. So take your breath, Jimmy. I mean, it really has been a breathtaking few minutes here at Jack Edwards Reserve. It had been a slow second half for the majority of this. It felt that Oakleigh were cruising towards victory, but really, this game has sprung back into life here, and Oakleigh in the lead again. Tell you what, it's such a joy to be able to watch players like Joe Guest and Josh Hope for both teams be able to pull out those moments of magic and score goals just like that. But still, there's plenty of time left in this one as Hampson looking to get forward. McDougall turned over. Here's McGilp. Sinclair. Here's McGilp. Back into the area. McDougall clears it away. Takes a wicked deflection. Good chest there from Adisu Bayou. Hampson. Dench. Can he get forward down the left? Well defended there from Hope, getting back. And it's out of bounds for a throw-in.
I think Josh Hope might have gotten an extra lung at half-time. He's been offered so much drive up and down the pitch. Definitely been a key player in the second half in getting that equaliser.
A tireless performance from Josh Hope as well. Rising highest to not home the equaliser and get Gully back into this game. Bring the scores level, albeit momentarily. There's still plenty of time in this one to have another couple twists and turns. Tell you what, though, if you're Green Gully, just such a sucker punch to get the game level and then to concede minutes after that. It was such a great response from Oakleigh. Exactly the sort of response that they would have wanted after being brought back level. But Gully just so unfortunate. It's the moment of brilliance from Joe Guest, able to restore the Cannons' advantage. A one in the air there by Hampson, and it's a bouncing ball. Kifler was waiting for it, but well played there by Feely. And now Sinclair looking to break forward down the right-hand side. Kasumovic cuts inside. Kifler, it looks like no foul given, and some of the Oakleigh fans this grandstand not happy the free kick wasn't awarded. Hope couldn't win possession. Here's McGilp. Salmon in some space on the edge of the area, looking back for the run of McGilp, but it's well defended and almost a bit of friendly fire inside the box there for Green Gully as that's cleared away. Tratt calmly does well to bring it under his spell. Here's Guest. Switching ball out towards Matthew Dench, who's just happy to slow things down a little bit. Bit conservative here, Oakleigh, just in no rush to get things moving.
The defensive line, the defensive unit of Green Gully has failed to really move up where they get that ball cleared, allowing that huge space in between that midfield and the attack. And Oakleigh's been able to capitalise on that.
Regaig, Abdallah, Regaig still going all the way from centre-back here, Jalil Regaig. Can he go for goal himself? That's a brilliant save there from Feely. Hope. No free kick. Lockhead shots blocked. Here's Kifler. Back to Wynn. Playing it along the deck. Hall. Out to Imanzi. Abdallah forced all the way back, but what a bit of attacking foray from Regaig to set up this initial opportunity. Here's Wynn. Good challenge there from Sinclair, and he puts the ball behind. And it's out for a corner. Good little spell there, though, from Green Gully, but I like the impetus from Regaig, just willing to take the game on and go for it himself, and almost able to score himself as well.
It's exactly what you need from your leaders when you're down. Just that little bit of drive forwards, take the game on, make something happen.
Well, it was a great little bit of inspiration that has set up this period that's been locked inside the Gully half. Can they make something count here? Abdallah on corner duties. It's into the box, knotted away there by Tratt. Lockhead. Twisting and turning and finding Wynn. Back to Abdallah. Well played there from Abdallah to skip around McGilb. Outside of the foot cross, and Guest did well, and it's out for another corner.
Green Gully can really build pressure with this corner, but they have to attack the ball.
They do.
Last corner went in, no Green Gully wanted to attack it, gave Oakleigh a very, very easy clearance.
So, Pierce Waring's about to come on here for Oakleigh against his former team. It's a bit of a presence in the final third to hold things up. It's not towards goal, and it's off the crossbar. It was Hope again, who almost had a second. Imanzi back into the area. Not back towards the goal mouth. Abdallah back across the face. Ball one in the air. McDougall. And it's out for a goal kick. And Josh Hope inches away from a second. And Oakleigh breathe a massive sigh of relief. So Pierce Waring will be coming on here for Asar Kasumovic. Scored the opening goal here for the home side, and he'll make way here for Pierce Waring. So perhaps a bit more of a physical presence up front, looking to hold things up in the form of Pierce Waring, just to try and see this one out here for Oakleigh.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they rearrange his front three, because Waring's traditionally more of a striker rather than a wide player.
Beauty of live streaming. McDougall. Here's McGilb. Salmon. Good little turnout here at Jack Edwards Reserve for Friday night football, and they've been present for what's been an absolute treat. But will we get another twist in this game?
It's fantastic seeing the young lads here in the crowd.
Absolutely.
Getting inspired to play football by their heroes down there.
Maybe being inspired to get behind a bit of commentary as well in a few years' time as well. Ball fed through. He's Guest in behind, looking to flick it over Driscoll. That's a good stop.
Fantastic stop by Driscoll. Got out really quickly. Got into his set position as soon as he saw the shot coming in and be able to make a huge block.
Making their presence felt as well there on the live stream. Hampson goes to ground. No free kick. Hampson in a crossing position. In back towards Pierce Waring, and the ball goes out of bounds and out for another corner. So more seconds off the clock here for Oakleigh. Just having a look, looks like Green Gully getting ready to make a third substitution, their final window. So just waiting to see who it's going to be. Braden Portelli will be coming on here. The late inclusions to the Gully side. So an opportunity here for the youngster. So Guest whipped into the area. Nodded away by Regag. Waring knocks it down to McGilp. Here's Guest. McGilp cuts inside. Still going here, Cam McGilp. Fires! Oh, Cam McGilp! That's special! He took it upon himself and he rockets it into the back of the net. A rare goal for Cam McGilp, but one he certainly won't forget. And maybe that's the winner there for the Oakleigh Cannons.
Fantastic technique on the strike. Absolute rocket into the back of the net. Almost probably made a hole in that net as well. And Karen McGilp's had a very challenging game. They've been going in hard on him, the Green Gully players. So the fact to get that goal and let them know about it.
You know what I love about that one, Jimmy? Just put his foot through it, laces, body over the ball. That's what they teach you, juniors. That's why they tell you to keep your body over the ball in those moments. That was an absolute rocket from Cam McGilp. He's second of the season. He's fifth in NPL Victoria. But perhaps one of his best. And Oakleigh closing in on a big 3 points here. Green Gully have made a substitution. Braden Portelli on for Judd McDougall. So an attacking change from Green Gully. But in the space of 15 minutes, when Gully had brought the game level, Oakleigh have responded with a quick 1-2 punch. But there's still time for Green Gully to potentially get themselves back in this one. Abdullah into the area, but no one could get on the end of that one. Kifler's able to chase it down. He floats it back into the area. Not a bad ball. Abdullah got a head to it. Help towards goal there from, I think it was Bayu, and it's cleared away there by Pierce Waring getting back and clearing it out for a throw-in. So this result for the Oakleigh Cannons will, if they're able to see it out, will put them into third for the time being. Green Gully will be outside the top 6.
In possession, Pierce Waring does look to go inside and use that kind of physical presence, but it does leave a huge gap in that wide areas. I think Green Gully will try to exploit that, especially in attacking transitions.
Well, Cam McGilp, after scoring that goal, Jimmy, he's pulled up a little bit lame. He said he's been in the wars tonight. He's put in a big shift, so perhaps they might look to just give him a bit of a rest for the last few minutes and maybe shore things up if they look to take no risks. For Oakleigh, their next game, they do take on Port Melbourne here at home before they play Melbourne Knights, Melbourne Victory and St Albans. So all teams below them, all teams that are in the relegation battle. So a big month coming up for Oakleigh where they'll be able to really put the pressure on the top 2. Green Gully, on the other hand, away at Hume City next week. Massive game for them in their hopes of getting into the top 6. Then Port Melbourne, Dandy City and Melbourne Knights. So some big games for them against some of the sides that are in that mix for finals football this season. Here's Lockhead. Kifler. Great first touch. And it's out for a corner. Just haven't given up the ghost just yet, Green Gully, but they're going to have to get things moving quickly if they want to get something from this one. It was so close to getting that equaliser when it was 2-1. Josh Hope within inches of levelling the scores before McGilp's goal, which has given Oakleigh that 3-1 lead. Nodded away there by Hall. Here's Lockhead. Well defended there by Strong. It's out for another throw-in. Manzi. Declan Wynn now slotting in as one of that back 3. They're really throwing caution into the wind here. Green Gully and Regag just let it run, and now an opportunity here for Alex Salmon. One-on-one here with Wynn. Salmon goes himself! And a good save there from Driscoll. A brilliant stop there from the Gully shot stopper, getting down to his left.
Quite a tough stop to make. Ball's travelling really quick. Bit of movement as well in the ball. Struck very, very well.
So into the final few seconds here of regulation, and you expect that the message will be here just to keep it in the corner. Of course, at the mercy of the fourth official to see how much added time there will be. Ball whipped in instead, looking for Tratt, so be 5 minutes of added time. Alex Salmon coming out to retrieve. McGilp. Here's Salmon, called to go to the corner. Jacob Tratt taking it all the way there and going to use his experience and his physicality just to keep it in that corner, but he's turned it over. Abdallah does well. Great first touch there. Looking to break through the middle. Shrugged the first challenge and will win the free kick, though. Yellow card awarded, and Gully looked to take that free kick quickly, but it will be coming all the way back.
Fantastic to see the referee rewarding the player who kept his feet rather than go down. It's not something that we see too often, so it's fantastic performance from that referee in that instance.
A bit of multi-ball situation there as Gully to take it quickly, and maybe one of the fans there for Oakleigh behind the goals, just throwing it onto the field. Just to slow things down a little bit. Here's Wynn. Has one assist to his name already tonight. Floats it into the area. He's looking for hope, and it falls to Adisu Bayu, who just puts it wide. And it just hasn't been Bayou's night. He had an opportunity early in the game, which almost opened the scoring, and a chance there to perhaps open the door just a little bit, but he just puts it wide.
I think credit goes to the Oakleigh defence for keeping Bayu quiet. They've been really structured, not letting him get behind the central zones by keeping the centre-backs a lot more narrow when they're breaking. So the Cannons will go third for the time being if they're able to hang firm here. They're getting ready to make another substitution. It will be Ajak Dayu, extra centre-back on here for Oakleigh, so perhaps going to maybe a back five and taking no risks. And it will be Cam McGilp, who's put in a massive shift today, scoring the goal, which has Oakleigh 3-1 ahead and closing in on a big win here, back on the winners list. And Ajak Dayu coming on here, former Western United defender, in to shore things up defensively. Lockhead. Here's Abdallah. Well played there by Hampson. Amanzi. Here's Wynn. Looking for the run of Kifler, and Dayu with a bit of an unfortunate slip. And it's out for a throw-in. And it looks like as well Oakleigh getting ready to make another change. Adam Duradovic about to be coming on, so some more time potentially off the clock as Wynn into the area looking for Bayu. Falls there to Amir Abdallah, who hits it, and it just fizzes past the post. And not a bad attempt there for Amir Abdallah. With Oakleigh putting that extra man in defence, it has opened up the midfield a little bit for Green Gully to really dominate that midfield third. Could be an avenue for more chances in the dying moments of the game. So Alex Salmon will make way for the final few minutes of this game, be replaced here by Adam Duradovic. Still looking for his first league goal for the Oakleigh Cannons since coming across from Melbourne Victory's youth team. Coming on here for the final few minutes, but Alex Salmon, in his return to league action, putting in a big shift today, almost getting himself on the score sheet, but it wasn't to be. Oakleigh, he, though, closing in on victory, and I'm sure Alex Salmon won't be complaining. The Cannons can see things out for the last couple of minutes or so as Regag's clearance goes right into the new grandstand up there. Which you can imagine, I mean, the way that grandstand's come along this season, that probably by the time that, maybe not next week, but maybe in a few weeks' time when the Cannons are back here, that it's going to be looking even more schmick and already, or a little bit more ready to go. You can just see Oakleigh here, happy to play the seconds and see this one out. Be a professional win for Oakleigh. They've been tested. So they win the free kick there on that far side, but they've had to really battle
Gully have not made it easy for them. They've been gallant in defeat, Green Gully. They can take away a lot from their performance, but Oakleigh just really showing their class and their steel in those key moments towards the end of this game, Jimmy.
Yeah, Green Gully throughout this kind of purple patch of form that they've had recently, they've shown a lot of fight, and they've shown it again tonight. It's been a really tough game for Oakleigh.
They've not made it easy for them whatsoever. And Oakleigh set to return to the winners list and be knocking on the door of the top two. Ball played short and Guess is in a load of space to the edge of the box. He fires and it's blocked. Campbell Strong getting there before Adisubayu. I was about to say, leaving Joe Guess in a panic there. It's a bit of a bold manoeuvre there. There's Jacob Tratt now going on a bit of an adventure coming forward, and he's looking to go himself here, Tratt. He's still going. And it's a free kick going there to Green Gully.
I was very surprised to see Tratt not use his big body at the corner flag to shield the ball, but I think he got eager to get a goal for himself.
Got a bit goal hungry there, Jacob Tratt.
Has scored a goal this season, Jacob
Yes,
Tratt.
he has. Portelli up against Dayu. Here's Abdullah. Haven't given up the ghost here, Gully. Abdullah, he fires, but he dragged that one well wide. And it's out for a goal kick. And that's the end of the game here. Oakleigh back on the winners list, into third for the time being. 3-1 winners here in what has been a thoroughly entertaining contest here at Jack Edwards Reserve. Asaka Sumovic opened the scoring for Oakleigh. Both teams had plenty of chances in that first half. And in the early stage of that second half, it felt like it was only going one way before Josh Hope popped up with an equaliser to really set the cat amongst the pigeons. But an immediate response from Joe Guest, a moment of magic to restore Oakleigh's lead before Cam McGilp with an absolute rocket, ensuring that the 3 points were remaining here at Jack Edwards Reserve. A big win for Oakleigh. They're into third for the time being, but Green Gully's wait to get back inside the top six will have to wait another week for them. But Jimmy, it's been some game here at Jack Edwards Reserve, but the champions, they showed their steel and showed why they're going to be a contender in the second half of this season.
Yeah, the fans were all up on their feet, all very excited, all very happy with the performance from both teams. It'll be a very interesting end to the season with Oakleigh, the way they're playing at the moment, the way they defend, and also Green Gully, the way if they can sneak into finals.
Well, they're going to be a team to watch in the second half of the season, are Green Gully. They can certainly take away a lot of positives from this performance. They do return home next week, they're away again against Hume City, and what's going to be a massive game in the race for finals football. Oakleigh back here against Port Melbourne, team inside the relegation zone, ahead of a big month for them as they look to keep pace with the likes of Heidelberg, Dandy Thunder and Avondale in the hopes for top two football and the premiership this season as well. Thank you very much for your company here on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you all the action. Jimmy, it's been great to have you on board for your first game. Glad to have had you here for the game. Great insights as always, and hoping to have you back on the commentary gantry again throughout the season.
No, thank you very much. Had heaps of fun.
Well, thank you again as well to those watching on at home. We're signing off here from Jack Edwards Reserve with the final score here. The Oakleigh Cannons 3, Green Gully 1.